Yeah.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Erskmac, the mad scientist. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell to give us all the support that we can so we can continue to grow our channel, because this is the Orange Phoenix Show. We cover everything of geek culture, whether it's pro wrestling, video games, manga, comics, you name it, we nerd it. But right here, right now, we got to talk about some pro wrestling news, man. Like some of the most newsworthy news that come across my desk, and we're talking about Jade Cargill signing with the WWE. Now, we're definitely going to address a few things here. So ESPN broke the news. WWE broke the news. They was talking about Jade Cargill all day long. All day long. And I got a few theories on why that is. Okay, so first theory I have. Obviously, when you look at AEW, you look at some of the stars that they have on AEW, some of the up-and-comers, Ricky Starks, MJF, Wardlow, just to name a few. You know what I'm saying? So Jade Cargill, when you really think about it, she is the first homegrown AEW talent that was acquired from AEW to jump ship over to WWE. So if you really think about it, if you think about the Nick Khans and the Vince McMahons and you really want to stick it to AEW, you plaster this all over news outlets. Like ESPN is like the premier sports outlet. So any kind of news that breaks on ESPN, it's legitimate news. You know what I'm saying? So when ESPN broke this news about Jade Cargill going over to WWE, obviously people are going to see what's going on, because WWE, by all intents and purposes, is the biggest wrestling company as far as marketing and all that goes. Period. There's no debating that, right? So my first theory to this is you take Jade Cargill and you dangle this carrot in front of Ricky Starks. You dangle this carrot in front of Wardlow and MJF and like, hey, you know, look what we did with Jade Cargill. Look how we market her. Look how much we paying her. Look what we're going to do with her and put her on the main stage. We can do the same thing for you. Like, this all smart marketing, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people criticize Jade Cargill's in-ring ability. I mean, because she started out the gate at AEW. Now, mind you, there's some people that forget that she went to WWE first for a tryout and they said no. But she went to AEW and she debuted with Shaq. She did a program with Brandy. She ends up being the first ever TBS champion, holding that title for 500 plus days, and so on and so forth. So now WWE is paying attention to AEW, because let's be real here, because at some point AEW wasn't the competition. Like that, it's second rate, right? It's under the radar. It's beneath us. But yet you look at the talent AEW has and you acquire it, and then you plaster it all over TV, all over news outlets, and say, hey, AEW, look what we're going to do with your talent, because you couldn't do that. But we're going to do that with that talent. And that's what it is. Jade Cargill is that ring bearer, one of the homegrown talents of AEW, acquired by WWE, and they're going to market it as such. So when she goes to the main roster, because she's not going to NXT, like that, it's unfathomable that she will go to NXT. Because rumor has it, according to reports, that the amount of money that she's getting paid is more than an NXT person would get paid if they first signed on with NXT. And I know we're going to talk about Brian Pillman Jr., but as far as stardom, the star talent, the star level, Jade Cargill is above that, right? So my thing is, what I would do with Jade Cargill is I will hold her, I will put her in the performance center, I will train her to the best of her ability, because the way the WWE is marketing her, you have to hit it on all cylinders. It's main roster or bust. And I know Jade Cargill is up to the task. She is, by far one of the most iconic women in AEW when you really think about it. Which is surprising, because she should be AEW world champion, women's world champion, right? I mean, if I was Tony Khan, I would really back up the Brinks truck, right? But it is what it is. There's no love loss. There's no hatred between the two entities or anything like that, because on both sides they had nothing but good things to say about each other. Tony Khan says she's welcome to AEW anytime. I'm happy for her. I'm proud of her. Stuff like that. Jade Cargill says the same thing. The opportunity was given, and that's what it was. It's all business in that sense. My second theory is this. My second theory is that they're plastered this all over TV because maybe AEW signed Adam Copeland, aka Edge. Maybe that's what's really going on because Wrestle Dream is this coming Sunday, right? What if Adam Copeland shows up on Wrestle Dream? Then what? Is supposed to soften the blow of what's going to happen, or because they foresee this happening? Because Edge has another gear left. Christian is doing some of his best work as TNT champion, some of his phenomenal work. So to have Adam Copeland shows up on AEW, man, my God, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So you got to, shout to the masses. We got Jade Cargill. We're going to put it on ESPN. We're going to have interviews with her. We're going to do all kinds of things. We're going to do everything under the sun to make it look right. But I'm telling you right now, you have to train her because she got the it factor. She has it all. She got the look, she got the body, she had everything. The only thing left is the in-ring work. And then that's what the performance center steps in. Please do not do a rush job on Jade Cargill because we do love Jade Cargill. That's just what it is. We wish her nothing but the best here at Orange Phoenix. And I know she's going to be successful. She's already called out Charlotte Flair. She already called out Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. Bayley even got into the mix when it comes to the social media back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Nick Khan does stuff with a strategy. He does stuff with a focus and a purpose. And Cody Rhodes was one of the deciding factors on Jade Cargill coming over to WWE. Who else is cool with Cody Rhodes? Ricky Starks. Who's real tight with Jade Cargill? Ricky Starks. Let me tell you something. If I'm talking to you, Tony Khan, if when their contracts is up, you best be backing up that Brinks truck for Ricky Starks. Starkman Jones. You better be backing it up for that man. You better be backing it up for MJF. You better be backing it up for Wardlow. All these guys, because WWE is they smell blood in the water. They really want those guys, man. They want to stick it to you like the way they want to stick it to you. But I'm gonna tell you right now. Hear me very clear. Ricky Starks, MJF, and Adam Cole is your Austin, Triple H, and Rock. That's your trio right there. That's your young talent right there. Like the world title picture, man, all those guys, man, you can do years of work with those guys. Years of work. The body of work that they're going to put in, man, that's your Triple H, that's your Rock, that's your Austin. All day long. Then you got your Shawns, you got your Undertakers, man. You know, but there's never be another Undertaker. But I'm just saying. Because in the Attitude Era, to me, in my opinion, it was Austin, Triple H, and Rock. It was those three. It was interchangeable. Feuds on top of feuds. And then you might sprinkle in the Undertaker here and there. You might put in Shawn Michaels here and there. But at the end of the day, to me, it was those three. Those were your three guys. You know what I'm saying? So, Tony, back up that Brinks truck, man. I don't care what it takes. Because WWE is chomping at the bit. They are dangling this carrot in front of Ricky, in front of MJF, in front of Wardlow. And I'm telling you, you got to do what you got to do, man. Back up that Brinks truck. Because me personally, I have an idea for Ricky Starks. Because I'm super high on Ricky Starks. I've been super high on Ricky Starks since NWA days. When he got on the mic and he started talking on the mic, I was like, this man has it. This man got it. I was like, whoever picked this man up is a lucky mofo. And AEW was fortunate enough to pick Ricky Starks up. I'm telling you, that man got it. That man is gold. He should be your headliner going into AEW Collision. I know you have your controversy with CM Punk. That's over and done with. I know you got Bryan Danielson there, but Ricky Starks should be the guy that everybody needs to come to see. And that's Starkman Jones. I'm telling you right now, man. Back up that Brinks truck. Just envision it. You got to put a title on this man, put a title around his waist. I don't care if it's the TNT title. I don't care if the AEW World title. I don't care if it's the All Atlantic Championship. Let that be one of the focal points of Collision. Let him be their All Atlantic champion. Let whoever challenged this man got to come see Stark Man Jones. Like, they got to come to the main event. They got to come see him. Let him be in the pay-per-views every single time you got a pay-per-view, man. Let him be one of the headliners there. You got a story right there. You got a gold mine in Ricky Starks. I'm telling you. This man has it. This man has it. And I think he had a stroke of bad luck, too, because I think he was going to have a phenomenal program with Punk. And then this whole situation happened, and then it kind of left Ricky Starks in limbo, that kind of thing. And which I feel like that promo he cut, the week after that, it was just raw emotion that was coming out of him. I felt what he was saying, man. It's very frustrating. And you just have to put a belt on this man. You got to put a belt around this waist and see what he does with it. Not the FTW title. I'm talking about one of the AEW titles, man. Like, let him have a lengthy title run and let him have an AEW world title run, because I feel like at this point in time, no one can touch MJF. But the first opponent that MJF went up against, I think that is the guy to beat MJF. I think that's the guy. I know you got a story with Adam Cole. That story has to finish. That has to go press itself through, because I'm loving what they're doing with each other as far as the best friends dynamic and everything else in between. But once that's done, Ricky Starks got to be in that mix. Some way, shape, or form. You got to make that thing happen. Also with Collision, you got Mercedes Moné, Rumors, Adam Copeland, Bryan Danielson, Dolph Ziggler. You got AEW Collision right there. All that talent on AEW Collision. AEW Collision could be the best wrestling show of the week, man. The best wrestling show of the week. All those releases that happen with WWE, I'm telling you, Dolph Ziggler should be number one on your list. Number one on your list, man. This man is phenomenal. Dolph Ziggler, Elias, man, you can just bolster up Collision on Saturday nights. Like, that be the it thing to do on Saturday nights. Like, you got to tune in at 8 o'clock to see what's going on Collision. You ain't got to DVR it because you can't miss Collision. You could go out after Collision's over with, because really, let's be honest with ourselves. We don't go out at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. We leave at 10. That's when stuff really pop off. It's at night, late Saturday night. If you really want to go out to the club and bar and all that other stuff, yeah, you can go watch Collision and then head out afterwards. Because, obviously, when you look at the time slot of Saturday nights at 8, you got college football back and everything else in between. People may look at it as a shitty time slot. But, hey, people might look at Friday nights at 8 o'clock as a shitty time slot for SmackDown. But somehow, some way, they average 2 million views. The demographic is 2.1 million. That's what I typically see. So if SmackDown can do it on a Friday night at 8 o'clock, Collision can damn sure do it at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Like, I feel like there's no excuse for that. Now, obviously, I know that Collision in some way, shape, or form was going to take somewhat of a hit because of this whole Punk situation, because Punk was the kind of like the main guy. Let's not forget Jay White that's sitting out there, Juice Robinson. I feel like FTR's biggest competition right now is Juice and Jay White. I feel like the way they put on a clinic and on Collision, like that 20 to 30 minute match that they had, oh my God, man. It was like wrestling heaven. That's what that was. I'm telling you, Tony Khan, you best be paying Ricky Starks, man. I don't care how much it costs. How much it costs. Ricky Starks, MJF, Warlow, I don't care. You might want to pay them, man. What did Prime say? Pay that man. Pay him. Have those contract negotiations, man. Write out something. My suggestion is, because AEW has been doing great things. They did Wembley. They broke the record for Wembley for its attendance, paid attendance. They did All Out. You got Wrestle Dream coming up on Sunday, which it's kind of like a must see. Anytime there's a pay-per-view for AEW, it ends up being must see TV, right? Because you don't want to miss out on what's going to happen at these AEW pay-per-views. You don't know who's going to pull up. That's the thing. You don't know who's going to pull up. And I know within 3 weeks, that's a lot to ask for the average consumer. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to watch it, obviously, for obvious reasons because of the show. But I'm just a pro wrestling fan altogether. So I have a few suggestions for Tony Khan. I feel like he wears many hats. the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know he has other sports team he's looking at. I think it's soccer, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. And obviously AEW. I went to 2 shows for All Elite Wrestling, and Tony Khan, overall, he is a genuine person. I haven't met him face to face, but to see how much he loves the fan base, how much he tries to cater to the fan base, that says a lot, because you're not going to get those same vibes from Vince McMahon. Obviously, it's a $1 billion company. Like, don't sneeze in front of Vince McMahon. Like, he has his isms. You know what I'm saying? But Tony, he has a certain flair when it comes to interacting with the fan base, interacting with the talent. He don't release people unless they do something astronomically stupid. He doesn't have these mass releases, and he spoke about that at the conference. You know, on the conference call, you were saying, "Listen, right now I'm focused on Warner Brothers. I know, you know, Fox might be interested, but right now I hope to stay with Warner Brothers forever. I understand the nature of the business. I never want to get in a position where I have a portion of my company sold where I have to do a release. I'm forced to do a release. I'm not about that. I'm paraphrasing. You know, I'm not about that. You know, if I'm not renewing the contract, you can work until your contract is over with. You can run out your contract. That's what you can do. Like, you know when your contract's going to end, you can plan accordingly. You can do all those other things. As far as, oh, let me get that phone call, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're fired. That's not what he's about. That's not what I see in him. He's a genuine human being. You know, there's mistakes along the way, and I think sometimes people take his kindness for weakness, but he gives people chances. You know what I'm saying? He will extend the olive branch, if you will. But going into All Elite Wrestling in the future, all these changes that's going to happen, because it's some changes that he's talking about, like some new beginnings and some stuff like that. So that kind of makes you want to see what's going to happen at Wrestle Dream, right? One of my suggestions is this. One of the flaws that AEW does have, as far as like the young talent, the brand new talent, you got to find a way to groom those talents to become main event stars. I know you got Chris Jericho there. I know you got Bryan Danielson there. I know you got Jon Moxley there. You know, I know you got Dean Malenko there. You have all these people. I think what needs to happen is you need to have an All Elite Wrestling training facility. I feel like something similar to the Performance Center, but you have, you know, trainers in the game to actually have daily repetition. You know what I'm saying? Like daily repetition. And because when you think about it, the way the Performance Center pumps out these NXT stars, like they go to NXT and they do their thing, and then next thing you know it, they're on the main roster. At one point, Triple H had that thing pumping on all cylinders. You know what I'm saying? The black and gold brand. The black and gold brand was legit. You know what I'm saying? Legit. I feel like All Elite Wrestling needs something of that nature to groom their new stars. Like, moving over to Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor can be your NXT. Ring of Honor can be your NXT. And especially if you want to keep Ring of Honor alive. Athena, and I know I'm jumping all over the place. Athena is like one of the greatest Ring of Honor World's women's champions there ever was. One of the longest reigning women's world champion. And I think it's high time that she comes over to All Elite Wrestling and show what she can do out there. She need to be on the pay-per-view, period. But yeah, some type of Performance Center type of vibe with All Elite Wrestling, so they can have daily repetitions, go to training, you know, and you can have it somewhere close to Daily's place. Like, you have the facility built and everything. You can do all that stuff. And move them over to Ring of Honor. You can keep pumping those new stars out. And then you got Dynamite. Then you got Rampage. And then you got Collision. And I feel like that's a surefire way to keep some of this talent. And I understand the tribalism, because I've been on social media. I've been on social media all day yesterday, looking at people talking about, oh, AEW fumbled the bag and yada, 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 all this tribalism. I don't think people understand that the talent on both sides get along with each other. It's the fan base that don't like each other. I don't understand. You got these WWE loyalists. You got these AEW loyalists that just shit on everything the other company does without even possibly watching what the other company is doing. All Elite Wrestling deals a little bit more in the realism of things. You do have some larger than life characters there. WWE, their things is TVPG because they got to satisfy the sponsors. They got to satisfy the shareholders. There's a lot of people they got to satisfy. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference between the two. But let's not forget, like, the women's roster on the WWE is top notch, man. They have more than one match on a show. You know what I mean? So I think one thing's for sure, if I'm critiquing All Elite Wrestling, because I am a huge AEW fan, is that you should showcase women's wrestling more than what you are now. I know you have one match. I know the match is a little bit longer, but you should have more than one match on the card, especially when it comes to pay-per-views. You got to have that. Yeah, if you want to bring in more women over and everything else in between, you got to do that. A performance center of some sort for All Elite Wrestling and bolster that women's roster. That way you can just grab more people to come over and do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'm a fan of booking. I am a fan of dream booking. Tony Khan has done dream matches, stuff like that. But I can be honest with you. That can only take you but so far. I think you need a little bit more creativity when it comes to story-driven stuff. MJF and Adam Cole is the best story in All Elite Wrestling right now. The best story. The second best story, you got Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Don Callis. They are telling a story right now. I feel like, and you know, if you say third, I would say Saraya and Toni Storm. Toni Storm, man, I feel like it's a coming out party because I always felt like Toni Storm has another character. She has another layer, maybe multiple layers. And this is like a layer that I've seen in her. I hope she does not drop this gimmick. I hope they do something with this gimmick because this gimmick is awesome. I really, really do love this awesome. I really do love this gimmick. And everybody else, man, they love it. They love it, man. These vignettes, these skits that she has, these in black and white videos, all this stuff, like, this really, 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 really good. Just more episodic. You know, leave us with some cliffhangers. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to watch next Wednesday. I can't wait to watch next Saturday. You know, stuff like that. You know, because I feel like the shows play to completion. And then it's kind of like, I got to tune in Wednesday or next Wednesday to see what the new story is. But I need more story-driven stuff. When you got more story-driven stuff, then stuff start to look good. Now, to appeal to the more casual viewer, because I'm a diehard All Elite Wrestling fan, I'm a diehard WWE fan, I just love pro wrestling altogether. But if you want to appeal to the casual fan, you got to put MJF on TV. You got to put him on Good Morning America. You got to put him like at the New York Stock Exchange hitting the bell. You got to do those things. Like, you got to him, Ricky Starks, Adam Cole, Britt Baker, Saraya, like Bryan Danielson. Like, all those individuals, Chris Jericho right there. Chris Jericho, like, on TV during the week, radio shows, national TV, not just for the state or the county that they're in for the show. Like, just be on TV every week to some way, shape, or form to further market All Elite Wrestling, because, I mean, leaps and bounds over a 5-year period, what they've accomplished, it's unprecedented. And WWE sees that. And that's why WWE market Jade Cargill the way they market her, which goes back to my first theory. Because you put it on ESPN, dog. You market it all day. Talk about how it's the grandest stage. Why would Undertaker say, hey, MJF, you know, he recognized him and in roundabout way calling AEW second rate? You don't think they sent the dogs out, man, to appeal to the, like, that's how you know you got something. That's how you know, because WWE recognizes you. They recognize the talent that you have, and they try to stick it to you by getting this premier talent. Try to stick it to you by getting Ricky Starks, by getting MJF, by getting all these premier stars that you have and taking them and then marketing it. They're smart. Very, very smart. Tony Khan is a very, very smart man, but like I said, I'm a huge Ricky Starks fan. You better back up that truck for him. I'm telling you. You better back up the truck for Ricky Starks. I'm telling you right now, he should be the headliner of Collision. I feel like he is the headliner of Collision. That's one of the reasons why I tune in to Collision is to see Stark Man Jones. You got to see him, man. You got to see him. You got to see about it. And if they are signing Adam Copeland over to AEW, the handcuffs are off. You may truly see the true rated R superstar. You may see that. And if he shows up to Wrestle Dream, if Mercedes Moné shows up to Wrestle Dream, because this is the time, man, because some of the people that's been released from WWE, they're under that 90-day non-compete clause. So the end of December, January timeframe, you might see them all elite. Dolph Ziggler should be your number one priority. Dolph Ziggler, Elias, Mustafa Ali. Yeah, you might want to get on the good foot, Tony Khan. You might want to get on the good foot. But yeah, if I had the pencil, I probably wouldn't have Jade Cargill show up on TV until Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble. But I understand the money that you're paying her, but man, if you can hold out until January, man, what kind of ovation would she get by being in the Royal Rumble, yo? Like, do she have to win it? Not necessarily, but she can have a program at WrestleMania. She don't necessarily have to wrestle for the title right away, because right now everybody is booking her for Bianca Belair. Everybody's booking her for Rhea Ripley, booking her for Charlotte Flair, booking her for Becky Lynch. They're booking her already. Slow down. We will get there. But I feel like to have her at 100% optimum efficiency, have her at the Performance Center, work on her craft, work on that skill, because she's going to be something. She's going to be a star. No question about it. It is part of Nick Khan's and WWE's master plan. And she's the start. She's the first AEW homegrown talent. You can't say Cody, because Cody started with WWE and he ventured out and did things on his own, helped create AEW, and then he jumped ship. And all people are like, oh, that's a nail in the coffin for AEW. It's a wrap. Now everybody's going to leave. But that didn't necessarily happen that way. Now, did it? It didn't. But Jade Cargill is the first homegrown. You know what I'm saying? She didn't start in WWE. She tried out, but she didn't start. She started out in AEW. She's the first. And they're going to dangle that carrot in front of everybody else that's contracts that might be coming up and everything else. Come on back to WWE. But you do this right after releases, right after a mass layoff, like hundreds of employees gone, a list of talent that has been released, you know what I'm saying? And then you hire Jade Cargill. Now that's not no shade, but I'm just saying, you know, WWE is very strategic. You just had this red on the ledger about all these releases that you just had. But hey, look at what we got. We got Jade Cargill over here. We had to back up the truck for her. And rightfully so. And there's no slight against anyone that's been released or anything of that nature, because I feel like that's a blessing. There's a silver lining in that, you know? Go out and do whatever you want to do without the handcuffs being on you, because, you know, you got to adhere to certain rules and regulations when it comes to WWE. Yes, it is the biggest company, right? Because they've been around for years, for decades. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't an overnight sensation. That wasn't like a 4 or 5 year old deal. And to say that AEW did this within 5 years, doing what they do, and now WWE is looking at it like, we might want to grab that talent. By all intents and purposes, this is a very, very healthy thing for pro wrestling as a whole, as a company. Because if you don't like it in WWE, guess where you can go? You can go to All Elite Wrestling. Don't like it at All Elite Wrestling? Guess what you could do? You could jump ship, go over to WWE. You could do those things. Like the fact that there are two companies are doing this, like doing trade-offs. That's good. A fresh start is always good. That's always good for a wrestling company. You do not have a monopoly. That's what I feel like tribalism goes way off the rails because it can be fun at times, but then it get real toxic. I think some of the wrestling fan base are the most toxic fan base next to Star Wars fans. I'm telling you, and I'm a Star Wars fan. It's good. A fresh start is always good. You know what I'm saying? You do not want one company to fail because once you have a monopoly, again, if you have a monopoly like when WWE bought WCW, it was cool for a period, but then it got real stale. You know, WWE could just put out trash pay-per-views and you still gonna pay for it. I mean, there was a period. That's not cap. There was a period where WWE was putting out stale content because it's the only wrestling company around. Where else you gonna go? Where else you gonna get paid that amount of money? You're gonna have to eat shit and live with it. That's what you're gonna have to do. But now there's competition. Now, when there's competition, that makes the product on all fronts way better because you don't want to lose your ground. You got to be on your P's and Q's at all times. You got to throw your best foot forward. You got to throw haymakers every single week. Every single week. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and notification bell so we can continue to grow as a company, as Orange Phoenix Show. Again, we talk about anime, manga, pro wrestling, video games, cosplay, you name it, we nerd it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Now, the next video we're going to have, or the next episode we're going to have, I'm definitely going to review Expendables 4. I saw that earlier this week, and I have my thoughts about it. But until then, until next time, y'all, peace out.